schedule. If your local cable company carries the preview channel, you can check it throughout the day for updated C-SPAN schedule information.
Next, Texas Governor George Bush. He delivered this
much.
commencement speech at the University of Texas at Austin last month.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm honored that you would have asked me to give this commencement address at this most magnificent setting. Chancellor Cunningham, members of the board, distinguished faculty, friends, family, especially the class of '96. Today marks the culmination of many years of hard work, and I congratulate you for all your accomplishments. I also want to congratulate your parents that are here today. The love and dedication of your moms and dads has made this day possible. To the parents, your sons and daughters could not have arrived at this moment without your sacrifice, your help, your constant belief in your sons and daughters' hopes and dreams. Today belongs to you as much as it does to the class of '96. And as the class of '96 leaves this campus, you will no doubt take many treasured memories of your college days. Memories such as listening for the billionth time to texts saying, "Thank you for calling, goodbye and good luck." Memories such as standing behind the statue of George Washington and asking yourself, did the artist really mean to do that? But most of all, the class of '96 leaves here knowing that in the final contest of a fierce rivalry that has spanned a century, in the ultimate struggle for eternal Southwest Conference bragging rights, Texas beat A&M. Like any other graduation speaker, I have wanted my words tonight to be relevant. So when I began preparing, I thought back to speeches of my own graduations. I've tried to recall some sage advice that has stuck with me throughout all these years, some kernel of wisdom that perhaps I could pass along to you tonight. The problem is I don't remember any kernels of wisdom. I can't even remember who the speakers were. All I do remember is they were too long. So I'm under no illusions today. I realize that while many of you are politely pretending to be listening, you're in fact thinking about the big party. So whether you like it or not, you're going to get a short speech. I want you to know, and you obviously know this, that the world you're about to enter is completely different from the one that greeted me in 1968. When I graduated from college, surfing was something done at the beach on a board. Today, surfing is done at the computer, on the internet. When I went job hunting, I competed with students from around our state and our country. Your competition will include graduates from all around the world. Free trade is creating new economic opportunities in our own hemisphere. People worldwide are courageously saying no to tyranny and government oppression, and yes to democracy and to the marketplace. This is an incredibly exciting time, a time of tremendous change and opportunities. And as both people and markets become more free, the world will shrink and become even smaller. It's conceivable that in a few years you might have breakfast in London, a teleconference lunch with executives in Beijing, and still make it home and back home to be able to see the mighty Texas Rangers play baseball. But while the world around us is rapidly changing day to day, there are some things that will never change, some things that will always remain constant and true. Abraham Lincoln learned that during the Civil War, the most chaotic period in our nation's history. Faced with the enormous challenge of running a country at war with itself, Lincoln discovered that decisions came easier when he stuck to his ideals. He once illustrated this point with a story about a young friend who was frightened by a sudden meteor shower. Lincoln reassured his friend, urging him to look beyond the shooting streaks of light to the fixed stars twinkling serenely in the heavens. Let us not mind the meteors, Lincoln said, but let us keep our eyes on the stars. As you leave here with your diplomas and your dreams, my hope is that you will not be dissuaded or confused by life's meteors crashing about you, but that you will stay focused on some fixed stars as your guide. First, no matter how much technology advances, you do business with people, not machines. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. It is important to listen and to respect the opinions of others. You can understand another's point of view without sacrificing your own principles and beliefs. I hope you will also view each person as an individual who has a soul, not someone to be lumped into some group or category based upon what they look like or where they came from. If Texans are known for nothing else, it should be that we judge each other based upon potential and heart, that we give each person a fair shot at achieving his or her dreams, whether in our public institutions or in our private lives. Secondly, while recognizing the worth of other people, give yourself the same courtesy. Great decisions in life spring from the heart. Trust your instincts and do not be afraid of failure or success. Thirdly, you are responsible for yourself, and you're responsible for what you do in life. About the time I graduated from college in the 60s, the culture of our country began to change dramatically. We questioned everything: our faith, our values, our moral standards of behavior. The rallying cry became, if it feels good, do it. Individuals are not responsible for their actions, went the thinking. We're all victims of forces beyond our control. But our society has paid a dear, dear price for this cultural shift. Males father children and walk away to let others deal with the consequences. Too many of our school children cannot read. A second and third generation of many, many Americans are dependent upon a welfare system that saps the soul and drains the spirit of our very future. Random, violent juvenile crime is exploding, and criminologists warn of a new generation of super predators, kids without fear or conscience. To restore peace and civility to our neighborhoods and to our country, we must change the culture again, not backwards, but forward, to a culture based upon individual responsibility and shared values. Not the values of one religion over another, but tried and true standards of behavior which have stood the test of time. Love your neighbor. Give an honest day's work for an honest day's wages. Don't lie, cheat, or steal. Respect others. Respect their property. Respect their opinions. And always remember, it is you who's responsible for what you do and what you say. Fourthly, baseball should always be played outdoors on grass with wooden bats. Fifthly, while the world may be changing dramatically, remember that our families are the backbone of our society. Families must endure forever. In our families, we find love. We learn the compassionate values essential to making us good citizens of the world. When the time comes for you to start your own families, I hope each and every one of you will strive to build not just a house, but a home. It takes hard work and dedication. Just ask your parents. But home is where our hearts find peace, and home is where our dreams take wing. Sixthly, and this is really important, you might want to write it down, that no matter how old you are or what you do, you can never escape your mother. I learned that last Labor Day weekend in Fredericksburg, Texas. My mother and dad joined me on a stage for the 50th anniversary celebration of America's World War II victory in the Pacific. It was a sunny, beautiful day, and there was 30,000 people that had lined the streets for this parade. It was a fantastic opportunity for me to say thanks to the moms and dads of my parents' generation, on behalf of the sons and daughters of my generation, for the incredible freedom we have in Texas and in America. I got up to the podium and I said, "Mr. President," and there was a nice ripple of applause. And I said, "Mother," and the place went wild. I said, "Mother, they still love you here in Texas," and there was more applause. And I said, "I love you too, but you're still telling me what to do after 49 years. Honest to goodness, a guy in a big cowboy hat in front of 30,000 folks cups his hands and screams, "And Governor, you better be listening to her too, boy." I do listen to her. And one of the things she has taught me is the final and most important fixed star that I will hope that you will keep in mind. God exists today, and God will exist forever. I am convinced that to truly change our state in America, we need a renewal of spirit in this country. A return to selfless concern for others, for duty, and for country. We must let faith be the fire within us. Government can hand out money, but it cannot put hope in our hearts and a sense of purpose in our lives. A successful career can put a BMW in your driveway, but it cannot fill the spiritual well from which we draw strength every day. Only faith can do that. I hope you'll be a part of that renewal of spirit as you begin your careers and to get to work those degrees that you have worked so hard to earn. Some of you graduates will become teachers. And I want to thank you for that. You have chosen a profession that will never make you rich, but the fruits of your labor stand to make us all, as a nation, rich. Our children are the faces of our future, and those of you who choose to teach will impact that future in a very profound way. Yours is a noble calling. As one famous Texan, Sam Houston, pointed out many years ago, Houston was a war hero, a teacher, a president of the Republic of Texas, a United States senator, a congressman, and the governor of 2 states. Toward the end of his life, one of Houston's friends asked, of all the titles he has held in his lifetime, which one had meant the most to him? And Houston replied without hesitation, teacher. But teaching is more than something done in a classroom. Teaching is something we should do every day of our lives. Teach your children decency. Teach them to be responsible for themselves. Teach your neighbor that you love them by doing something kind. A moment ago, I mentioned my predecessor, Sam Houston. He was an amazing man, a real Texas hero. But what most people do not know is that his life could have turned out much differently. He wrestled with self-doubt. He wandered for years looking for direction. He was twice driven from public office in disgrace, and he struggled with an addiction to alcohol. The turning point for Houston came one day when, drunk and physically spent, he looked into a mirror and saw the reflection of a man he no longer respected. That very day, Houston vowed to turn his life around, and he did, and our history is richer for it. My hope for you is that you'll follow your dreams. Keep your eyes on the fixed stars. But most of all, I hope that when you look in the mirror, you'll be always proud of what you see. God bless the class of 1996. God bless Texas.
Our series of commencement addresses continues in about 10 minutes with a speech by Hillary Rodham Clinton.
On the next book notes, Seymour Martin Lipset. He says, though born of revolution, the United States is organized